Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and today I'm doing my very first unhaul ever. Yes, you heard me correct. I have never thrown away, given away. I've done nothing with my books ever, so this is gonna be my first unhaul ever. I have loads of books that I'm ready to get rid of. I have some books that I was reading when I was younger, and I'm also unhauling a couple of books that I have or have not read in the past few years. Overall, the main reason why I've decided to do an unhaul right now, because one, I needed to put a video up. I have not filmed a video in a while, and that's because my MCAT is in a couple of weeks now, and so the past couple of weeks and the next couple of weeks until my test, I will be very focused. But anyways, once I finish my MCAT, I am planning on buying some books in celebration, and I'm also planning on finding a job somewhere, so I'll be getting an income and will be able to afford, hopefully, to buy more books. And so I need to get rid of the books that I just have on my shelf to just have on my shelf, so that when I buy new books, I will have room for them. But without further ado, let's hop right on into my unhaul, starting with the books that I read when I was younger. The first book I have is the Shadow Falls series. This is a series of 5 books. This bind up includes the first 2 books. I'm not sure where my other 3 books are, but if I ever find them, they'll be included in my unhaul because I'm getting rid of the series as I read it when I was younger. But basically, Shadow Falls follows Kylie Galen, who is a troubled teen. She gets in trouble a lot, and so her mom ships her off to Shadow Falls, which is a camp for troubled teens. But when she gets there, she realizes that the school is full of supernatural creatures, vampires, werewolves, you name it, they're at the school. And so Kylie's kind of like, why am I here? Because she doesn't believe that she has any powers, but she of course is meant to be there. And there is a love triangle between Derek and Lucas. Derek is a half-fae, Lucas is a werewolf, and they obviously both fall in love with Kylie, and she is stuck in a love triangle pretty much for all of the books. But yeah, I loved a good vampire series, a good supernatural series when I was younger, so definitely could see why I had these books, and I definitely enjoyed the ride. But I don't see myself rereading it or revisiting this series, so I'm just going to pass it down to somebody else. Going along with the vampire trend, I will also be unhauling Chronicle of Vladimir Todd series. This is the first book in a series of, again, 5 books that follows Vladimir Todd in 8th through 12th grade. And the first addition to the series, 8th Grade Bites, Vladimir Todd is 13 years old. His mom is human, his dad's a vampire. We see him struggling with, just average daily vampire things such as blood cravings and enlarged fangs. One day, a substitute teacher starts asking Vladimir a few too many questions that Vladimir begins to fear that his cover is going to be blown. But on top of that, he faces a bigger problem. He is being hunted by a vampire killer. So we got the vampire books out the way, and now we're going to move to the YA romance that I was reading back in the day. And man, let me tell you, I am so happy that my tastes have upgraded, because rereading these synopsis, I'm just like, Kristen, why did you read this and give it 5 stars? Trash. I'm trash. But anyways, the first book I have here is called If I Have a Wicked Stepmother, Where's My Prince by Melissa Cantor. This one is basically just a retelling of Cinderella. We have the mom's dead, a cruel stepmother making her do chores and such, falls in love with a guy that she sees at school. Gotta love a good retelling. I still love retellings to this day, but it's not up for debate that Cinderella is dead. It's just going to be the better retelling of Cinderella. I have not read Cinderella is Dead yet, but I just know. The next book that I'm unhauling is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, and this is the trope of falling in love with the neighbor. This follows Samantha Reed and Jace Garrett. Samantha Reed's family is just completely different from the Garretts, and that's something that she is pulled toward. She ends up falling in love with Jace Garrett, but of course her mother is not going to approve of it, so she's sneaking around. The next book I have in my unhaul list is Snapshot by Angie Stanton, and this follows two teenagers, Marty and Adam, who meet each other at a summer arts camp. Marty's dad is an irresponsible rock star legend and her mom is absent, and so she just goes to the summer camp to escape her reality and have somewhat of a normal life. Adam, on the other hand, is the opposite of normal. He is a rock star, and so he disguises himself as a regular schmegular guy and attends this summer arts camp to escape his fame, and they end up falling in love. Marty eventually figures out who Adam is, and then she has to deal with that given her parents and the fact that she swore to herself that she was never going to date a rock star. The last book in my sort of YA romance novels that I read back in the day is The Nature of Jade by Deb Khalidi. This follows a girl named Jade DeLuna who has been diagnosed with panic disorder. And so to help her stay calm, she visits the elephants at the nearby zoo. And this is where she meets Sebastian and she falls in love with him. Next, I have a couple of mystery type. The first one is Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. These two girls, Anna and her best friend, are on spring break, but then Anna's best friend is brutally murdered, and all eyes and ears are pointing towards Anna as the main suspect. And now Anna must fight for her freedom and prove that she did not murder her best friend. Next, I have Devilish by Maureen Johnson, which follows two seniors in high school, Jane and Allison. They are best friends. They are not popular. They're too quirky to be popular, but after an embarrassing disaster, Allison comes back to school transformed, and Jane is trying to figure out what happened because Allison won't even talk to Jane. So Jane, along with a freshman boy, figure out that what happened was that Allison sold her soul to the devil. And so they got to save her from that. The next two books I'm unhauling are a bit of a throwback. The first book in two popular series back in the day, and that is Private by Kate Bryan and That Ashley's by Melissa De La Cruz. And I'm over here thinking throwback memories, all that, because I remember reading these books and man, that was a time. I enjoyed reading these books a lot actually, and I'm very sorry for the lighting right now. The sun is setting and it's just gonna be on my face. In the Private series, we follow Reed Brennan, who wins a scholarship to Easton Academy, and she's very happy to go to the school because that means she can escape her boring life at home and her druggy mother. She's happy to attend this school, but it's definitely a school for rich people, and that's something that Reed is not. When she discovers the Billing Girls, she does everything in her power to become a part of this prestigious group of girls. But as always, these girls definitely have their fair share of secrets, and these girls will do anything and everything in their power to keep their secrets secret. The Ashleys follows a group of girls who are all named Ashley. They rule Miss Gamble's preparatory school for girls, and they have ruled the school for forever. Lauren Page has gone to school with the Ashleys her whole academic career, and one day Lauren Page returns to school looking real cute. She got a little makeover, and now she's gonna go head on with the Ashleys because there's a new name in school and she's not gonna take the Ashleys BS no longer. Next, I have a really old series called Camp Confidential by Melissa Morgan, and basically it's just about a girl who was shipped off to summer camp by her mother, and she didn't want to go to summer camp, but then realizes that there are cool people at the camp and she makes friends and it ends up being a great time. But there are, of course, secrets, just like all the other books that I have mentioned thus far. And last but not least of my childhood books that I'm unhauling, we finally have a fantasy. At first I was like, dang, like did I not read fantasy back in the day? I mean, I did mention a couple of vampire books, but I only read vampires because Twilight, and then from there the vampire obsession began. Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. I remember loving this book a lot. And for this one, I'm just going to read the synopsis from the back of the book. High on the slopes of Rocky Mount Escol, Mary's family pounds a living from the stone of the mountain itself. But Mary's life will change forever when word comes that her small village is the home of the featured princess. All eligible girls must attend a makeshift academy to prepare for royal life. At the school, Mary finds herself confronting bitter competition among the girls and her own conflicted desires to be chosen. Yet when danger comes to the academy, it is Mary, named for a tiny mountain flower, who must find a way to save her classmates and the future of their beloved village. I doubt this is where my love for fantasy began, but I am happy that I read fantasy when I was younger, because I was thinking I didn't read any fantasy at all. And now I'm going to talk about a few books that I'll be unhauling that I've read in more recent years. There aren't that many. My philosophy is these days I buy books that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to like, so that I will be more inclined to keep the book and not feel that I'm wasting my money. I don't have as many books that I've read recently that I don't plan on keeping, but there are a few. So the first book here is My Sweet Revenge by Jane Fallon and On a Beautiful Day by Lucy Diamond. I bought these two books when I studied abroad in Europe, and I was like, of course I'm gonna go book shopping in Europe, like that sounds amazing. And I picked up these two books here. I really enjoyed My Sweet Revenge. Like, it was a super clever book, and the only reason I want to unhaul it is because I don't think I'm going to reread it or revisit it, but this was definitely a 5-star read. This follows a married couple, Paul and Robert. The whole premise of the story is that Paula wants to make her husband love her again. And it's because she wants to crush him. She wants to crush him because he's a cheater and he's trash and he's X, Y, and Z. So she's trying to get her revenge on him. And the way that this is played out is so creative, is so well thought out. Even though you know she's doing this to get back at him, you're trying to figure out like how she's going to do this, what people are going to be involved, or just a lot of things. And I really feel like the way that Jane Fallon created this story was a 5 out of 5, a spot on story. Especially if you love a good rom-com type story, I really feel like you would love this. On a Beautiful Day by Lucy Diamond, I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't read it and I don't plan on reading it, and I have no idea what this book is about. And the only reason why I picked this book up was because I thought it was a beautiful cover. Capitalism got me, and because buy one get half off, like, I had to. I really don't know what this book is about, and I haven't read it yet, and I don't plan on picking it up at any time soon, so I think I'm just going to donate it or something, because I don't see myself reading it anytime soon. The next book I have here is The Infinite Moment of Us by Lauren Miracle, and this is another romance. We have Ren Gray and Charlie Parker. Ren Gray is basically the perfect daughter. She gets all A's, she's never had a boyfriend, X, Y, and Z. She focused on her future, but as graduation draws near, she realizes that what she wants to do with her life has changed, but she's kind of afraid to tell her parents because she's perfect in their eyes. Charlie Parker has been in love with Ren since the day he laid his eyes on her, but he doesn't think that Ren will fall for a guy like him. The next book I'm unhauling, or well, the next series that I'll be unhauling, was A Good Time, and that is the Dorothy Must Die series by Danielle Page. And if it's not obvious, this is definitely a retelling of Wizard of Oz. I have the first book, which is Dorothy Must Die, the second book, The Wicked Will Rise, and the third book, Yellow Brick Road. And I gave all of these 4 stars. I think there's a 4th book that I ended up never reading, and then there's the Dorothy Must Die stories, little novellas here and there that I also read. It was a very good time. It's a retelling. I love retellings. I don't think I'm going to revisit anytime soon or really at all, so I think that I can just pass this on and hopefully somebody else will enjoy it. But again, I really did enjoy it, and if you like retellings, if Wizard of Oz is your thing, then I would suggest reading Dorothy Must Die, because it's Wizard of Oz but like dark. My very last book that I'm including in this book unhaul is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I think this was the first mystery thriller I really ever read, because I read this back in 2016. Because nowadays when I want to read a mystery or thriller, I don't typically buy mystery or thrillers, because I read it once, and then once I know the plot twist is, and once I know like what happens in the story, I tend to not ever pick up a mystery or thriller again. And so this is why I'm unhauling it. I don't think I'm going to pick it up again, but this was really good. I definitely gave this 5 stars. If you're looking for a mystery thriller that's more backlist and not more of a new release, then I would definitely suggest Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. It was a great time. It's been more than 20 years since Claire and Lydia last spoke. Claire is the glamorous trophy wife of an Atlanta millionaire. Lydia, a single mother dating an ex-con, struggles to make ends meet. But neither has recovered from the disappearance of their sister Julia 2 decades earlier, and the shocking murder of Claire's husband brings the horror and heartbreak of the past warring back into their lives. The vanishing of a teen girl and the killing of a middle-aged man, almost a quarter century apart, what could connect them? As they form a wary truce, the surviving sisters unearth the secrets that destroyed their family all those years ago and find the astonishing truth where they least expected it. So again, a really good read. Plot twists were great. The story was structured very well, so I would still recommend this story even though I'm unhauling it. Ooh, that took a lot of energy, but I am done. That concludes my unhaul, all the books that I will be giving away or selling, or I don't really know if y'all have done unhauls or if you do unhauls more frequently. What do you do with the books that you are unhauling? Do you donate them to the library? Do you have a Depop shop? Like, what do you guys do? I kind of want to hear from you so I can figure out where exactly I want to do with these books. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big like, comment down below, leave me a book emoji down there if you've made it this far, because I can't think of any other emoji right now, and subscribe to my channel if you are not already. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.